want to talk about something as far as parenting goes. For a mother, father, children. So, for me personally, I was in I've been through a lot of things in life. I've been through drug addiction and all that stuff. Institutionalized and freaking living in sober livings and drug programs, whatever it might be. I've been through a lot of that stuff. As a father, I missed out on most of my kids' life. I did a lot of time in prison. Most of their lives, my grown kids. And then I have this 7-year-old little girl. And I haven't missed none of her life due to being in prison. I have missed spurts of her life from being in other places. But for the most part, I've been there. With that being said, I've been in situations in the sober livings and the different places, church environments, and when I say sober livings, that's not. I haven't been in a lot of that. I think I've been to one sober living house that I can think of. I hate the let me make that clear. I cannot stand the recovery community, sobriety living, because I know that for me, I know there's a lot more to it. I don't want to get sober and go to hell. That's the end of the story. I was thinking about this today. Let's go ahead and share that. I'm going to try and share it as genius as it sounded to me today. It's kind of simple. I don't want to get sober. I don't want to be clean off of drugs and go to hell. I've been around so many people, in that community. It's like, wow, I'm sober and I haven't used in 7 years or however long, and I believe wholeheartedly sobriety is very important. For me, going to heaven is more important. So, my strive for sobriety isn't for people to please people in the world. My strive for sobriety is to have the willpower to deny myself that idol that I've had in my life. I was just explaining it to someone else earlier. Not necessarily today, but for me, using drugs, it's not very enjoyable. It's pretty dramatic or drastic. It's sick. There's no fun in it. That's the really sick part about it, is I don't do it for fun. It's like an adrenaline rush. It's got to be, because that's literally. It's like I'm. So what I was explaining earlier was, ask yourself that you go to the recovery community and you say, oh, okay, I don't want to get to hell and say, I had 7 years clean and I went to hell. See, I live, now it's been sloppy. Because I'm not saying that my way of sobriety has been a success, because I've had many ups and downs and falls. But I'll tell you, my hope is different. I need God's grace so bad because I've backslidden and fell so many times. But I have no ability on my own to stay sober. And some could probably say, well, you haven't done it with God neither. I've done a poor job with God's grace on my life. I have done a poor job. But without that grace, there would be no sobriety, because all I know is drugs. Well, it's not all I know, but we'll say it's been probably the strongest stronghold in my life. I love that escape. It's been an idol. That's what it is. It's idolatry. It's witchcraft. But without God, see, I don't. So when I have fell and done bad in my life, I'm like, I've had to argue with recovery. I'm like, what do you mean? What am I going to do for help? I'm going back to the cross. I'm going to give this to God, and I'm going to get back and run. That's all I know. Other than that, what do you mean? You want me to go to meetings and talk about drugs all day? Not happening. Anyways. So that's the aspect I want to share about just recovery. I throw that in there. And when I started this video, I wanted to go somewhere else with this. As a father, and I want to talk about this as a father, as a man, with my child. As I said, I've been out here 10 years out of prison. Going on, it'll be 10 years in August that I've been out. Not the cleanest, not the nicest, pretty rough. However, I've been out of prison, fighting. Lucky to, yeah, lucky to be alive, probably. Not lucky, blessed. Throughout this situation, man, so I've been in this, I've been in these environments, and I've had some grace and mercy, some special treatment in some places, and my daughter was really an exception made throughout my life. When I say she's an exception, like, I've had rules bent for me because I think people understood my, I was outspoken about it. Like, man, listen, I'm going to need to see my daughter on these days, that days, whatever it might be. And I think I had a lot of grace and mercy with rules about that, because I think people knew that, going against my wishes on this would be kind of backbreaking. However, that's a weight to carry, because I used to have to ask permission to see my child. As a man, as a father, that's horrible. It sucks. So when you're asking these questions, these permissions to see your child, and you can read the people granting you this, it's like, it's breaking their back, and you have to see them huff and puff, and it's breaking their back to give you this thing, because they think or view it as, this is more important than what you have going on here. You're putting this first and that first before this, or that before this responsibility, or whatever. And in my vision, so not only am I having to My pride is being attacked that I even have to ask to see my daughter. Now the fact that it comes down to it that then I'm reading your body language and you're like, ugh, gosh, that's 2 days, that's 3 days, or whatever. My heart is saying, and I know it's a pride issue, because I chose this other life and I chose to try to humble myself and balance this life out. So when I come to the point to where it's like, hey, you're going to have to give this up. I'm like, that's where give one or the other up. And it's not, hold on. All I know is my daughter. I'm going to fight for that till the end, to the death, whatever. My most important role as a man, as a father, first I need to be there for her at whatever cost. Second, I need to be a man of God. I can't be a man of God and neglect my daughter. That doesn't mix to me. It don't make sense. And I think if the situation was, that's the only way that you could be, you know, it's a very hard situation. But when it comes down to that, I want to be a good father. I want to be a fatherly example, and I want to be a godly example to my daughter. That is my priority. I just remembered something I have to do. Dang it. But that's my point, because I was faced with this decision, man, and I was faced with this decision. I totally understood where the other people was coming from, whatever it might be, because what I was going to lose my ability for overnight visits with my daughter. It's not optional for me, man. This is, you know, and for me, looking at it, I'm in my eyes. I understand both perceptions or both views of this. Because I think I should be able to lay it down one way to an extent. Lay down my pride. Go after this thing wholeheartedly and not have no distractions. But that's a lot easier said than done, because I know that also I need to be this father wholeheartedly, full force. It's a lot to weigh. And the confusing part about it is when this one institution and this other, the things I'm weighing in my head is like, I get it that it might not be satisfactory to you because I'm not doing this or that, but the fact that this isn't being encouraged for me to be this father or try, or not only is it not being encouraged, but it's being frowned upon. that that don't set well with me. Not that it don't, yeah, it don't set well with me. But as I said, I understand both these dynamics. It's a lot to think, juggle, and blah blah blah. The decision had to be made, and the pressure had to be put on, things like that. So, how this video can help anybody else, I don't know, but I wanted to make it. You know, yeah. Hopefully, the recovery community, maybe I shine some light on that, man, and somebody. Gosh, I'm getting ready to go. I'm getting ready to go to my friend's. He has these meetings tonight. I think I'm gonna go there, and it deals with a lot of homeless people and addicts and stuff. I've been there before. I did gave a little testimony type thing there, whatever you want to call it. Lead in freaking the recovery. That stuff irks me so bad because my heart is I want to see everybody go to heaven. I get it. You get clean. I've been to them places suck to me. I'm like, golly. And I was just used to, I got Christian friends that have the most horrible attitudes, man. And that's what I see in sober living. That's what I see in that. I'm like, dang, you hate everything and you have this dark view of everything. I don't care what happens, bro. I have a positive view, man. I have to. I have no other choice. I know all about being and when I say these things, I've been the guy that had that dark view on everything. I grew up with the worst attitude, hating life, no understanding of it. And that's what God has done for me, man. God has pulled. When I say the thing that I said earlier, that I'm lucky and blessed to be alive, I'm laughing about it because I know me saying it without going into detail, you wouldn't understand. Not that you wouldn't understand, but it's pretty dark. But God's grace, He has been so good. Because I think of all the times, all this stuff I've done, that if God would have pulled the plug on my life, took His hand of protection off of my life, I could have been in hell, And that's my thing with the recovery, and I'm like, I don't want to get clean off of drugs and carry this same attitude. Like, oh, I'm going to heaven. I got 17 years sobriety. What? No, this is what God has changed. My eyes are open. There's a light shining. I can see through the darkest of times. I'm like, bro, there's no sense in being mad about this or that. Why? Here, the Bible is so good. Oh, do not worry about tomorrow because today has enough problems of its own. Well said. Yeah. Let's make it through this one. Let's shine through this one. Everything God has taught me is good. It's all. I don't want to learn just a couple things to change my life. Everything, let it saturate your heart and mind. Change it everywhere. Every little thing God teaches you right here. David said the prayer, write your word in my heart that I will not sin against you. Everything, not just the Bible words, but the things that you listen to from a preacher. When they say those great things, let that resonate in your heart, in your spirit and soul. Dan Mohler said, I didn't come to this earth to need love. I was sent here to be it. when you're broken, when you're hurt, when you feel lonely, guess what? Good. Let that be a reason for you to be that light in someone else's life. God gave me that little nugget that I just gave you from the mouth of Dan Mohler. That's what he said. You wasn't put here to need love. You was put here to be a vessel of God's love working through you. When you get that revelation, let that soak into your heart. You're lonely, you're broken, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're going to have problems. Guess what? When you get that revelation, don't just learn it. Start letting it work through you. Bam. You're lonely. You lost this, lost that, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? It's time to be love. Let me carry this great attitude. I don't need to be sad and down. There's nobody in your life, homeless, whatever it might be. That makes it even stronger. That makes, if you can smile and let love work through you at the darkest moments, that makes your testimony to that person you're telling about the love of Jesus, about your love for them, whatever it might be, the love that working through shines even brighter through those dark moments. Thank you.